even after I have reset the wallet and the data has been removed, it is still there. So if you forgot your wallet password, but you also don't have a seed phrase backup, what can you do? This is a question that I've been seeing quite a bit, so I thought it was time to get around to implementing support for Metamask and Metamask clones like the Binance Smart Chain wallet and the Ronin wallet into BTCRecover, meaning that if you're in a situation where maybe you have a typo in your password, or maybe there's some passwords that you commonly use and you want to try and do a recovery on your password, you can now use BTCRecover for that. So basically in this video I'm just going to run through a few example recoveries, and the idea is that I'll be covering both how to use different browsers, so looking at Firefox as well as Chrome based browsers, so Chrome or Brave or whatever, also looking at how to look at some different forks or clones of Metamask for different chains. So I'll be looking at actual proper Metamask, as well as looking at the Binance chain wallet, as well as a fork of the Metamask wallet that is a bit different, which is the Ronin wallet. If you haven't got BTCRecover installed, I'd suggest you head over to this video here, which basically runs through how to install it, set it up, as well as how to enable GPU acceleration, which does give you a bit of a boost with this type of wallet. And like all of my videos with BTCRecover, my suggestion is that you essentially try and replicate the examples I give you in this video here. There are wallet files bundled with BTCRecover that help you to do that, and only once you're familiar with the tool and how to use it properly, then you move on to using it with your own wallet. And if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe. That way you can stay in the loop for content I make to help you find your way in the crazy and often hostile environment that is cryptocurrency. So all of these recoveries are going to have three main steps. Firstly, you're going to have to extract your wallet data, either from files or from your browser. Then you're going to have a think about what sort of typos you might have made, or what sort of password you might have used, and create either a token list or a password list, and things like that. And then thirdly, you're going to actually have to run BTCRecover. The examples that I'll be looking at will cover how to do these extractions for different wallet types from different browsers, as well as cover different sorts of recoveries in terms of what might be wrong with the password you're trying to use. The good thing about this is that these three steps are basically independent from each other, so it's actually easy for you to mix and match the information that you need from the examples I give to the specific recovery you're trying to do. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just look at plain old Metamask, and here I have Metamask and I'm unable to log in. So what we're going to do in this instance is we're going to find the actual files for this extension, which is pretty straightforward to do for Chrome-based wallets. And if you're not sure where to look, you can go into the BTCRecover documentation. There's a link to that in the description. And if we just go into the password, passphrase discovery, and go down to finding Metamask wallet files, the info we want here. Now, the thing you'll notice here is that for Metamask wallets, we're essentially pointing BTCRecover either at the data folder or add a file with some of the wallet data in it, and I'll show you that later when we look at it for Firefox. But what we can do basically is just take this folder here, which if you're using Metamask and Chrome is the folder with the extension data in it. So we can just say copy, and if we just go into Windows Explorer and paste it there and hit enter, that will take us to a folder with our extension data in it. And we can actually see some structure like this. It'll either have a bunch of these log files or a bunch of these LDB files. But either way, if it looks something like this, this is the right folder. Bearing in mind, again, there might just be only one of these log files and none of these extra ones. So that's the folder we want. So there are two things we can do from here. We could either just use this full path in BTCRecover for the wallet extension, or we could actually just copy all of these files and just make a folder in our BTCRecover directory and just call it something. So for this case, we'll just call it Metamask demo. So we've made that folder, and I can just paste all of the files in there. That way, at least, you're not messing with your original extension data, rather you're operating on a copy. So we've got our wallet data in there. Now for this one, in terms of the type of mistake we've made, what we'll do is we'll create a password list. So we'll just say new, and we'll just create a text document, and we'll just call it Metamask demo. This is a good way to do it if you're pretty sure what the password actually was and you think you just might have made a typo. So maybe we remembered that the password we were sure was just crypto guide. But then when we think about it, we think, actually, you know what? Sometimes we might also have capitalized each word. So look, we'll just make a really basic password list that looks at these two options here, and we'll just say save. Look, for this example, we'll just try some of these basic things here, which are really easy mistakes to make. So, typos for caps lock, swap, repeat, delete, and case. And what each of these mean is basically what it says there. Let's just assume we only made one typo. So we open command prompt, and from there we're going to navigate to wherever we have BTCRecover installed. For me, that's just in a GitHub folder. So basically from here, we're just going to do Python BTCRecover.py, and then wallet. We're going to point that to this Metamask demo folder we created over here. So that'll just be /, because that tells Python it's in the same folder, Metamask demo. But again, this could be a path to anywhere, including just pointing it straight to the extension folder for your browser plugin. You don't even need to actually copy it. But anyway, so we'll also say Passwordlist, and we're going to use this file here, demo metamask demo passwordlist.txt, and the typos we're going to use are these ones just up above. So we'll just do typos case, typos delete, typos repeat, and typos swap, and typos caps. We'll just assume we made one of those basic mistakes because they're easy to make. And we can enable OpenCL for this if we want to do GPU acceleration. But in this instance, our password list doesn't actually have much in it, and we're only checking for a very small number of typos, so it's actually not really going to make a difference. So we'll just get rid of that for now and just run it as CPU. So if I hit enter, and there we go. So basically it's found that the password was crypto guide. So the guess that we had in our token list actually wasn't too far off, except in this case we had caps lock on when we were typing it in. So yeah, easy mistake to make, and one that Metamask won't tell you about if you accidentally have caps lock on. And if we copy that and go and use it to log into Metamask, it works just fine. So this next one I'll show you for Binance Chain Wallet is how to get the wallet data that we need without having to be able to find the extension folder. So what we're going to do is, with the Binance Chain extension open, we're going to right click on it and say inspect. Now we want to go over here, and this is going to open up basically some development tools, and we're going to click on the console tab just here. Now the command that we're going to paste in here is this one here. So it's essentially chrome.storage.local.get console.log, and that is going to just dump all of the data from the wallet here. And we can actually click on that little arrow, and that will show us all of these things. And the thing we want is this one here, which says vault, and there's a whole bunch of this data here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our BTCRecover folder, and look, we're just going to make a wallet file. We're going to say new text document, and we'll just call this Binance wallet demo.txt. So basically we right clicked on here, we said copy string, and then we are just going to paste that wallet data straight in. We don't need to do anything to it, just hit save. So we'll have something that looks like this. I'll just clear that. So we're still in the BTCRecover folder. So in this case, we're going to say Python BTCRecover.py. Now for wallet, this time instead of pointing it to the extension folder, which would absolutely work for Binance Chain, but so we're just going to point it to Binance Chain wallet demo.txt, Binance wallet demo.txt, password list. Now for this one, we'll just do another password list example, which again is a good thing to do if you think you're pretty sure what your password was. And we'll just call this Binance wallet demo password list.txt. So let's say in this case, we know that we would normally just use a password like this, similar to the one we had in the previous example. But when we say open up another browser and have a look at what the requirements for the Binance Chain wallet actually are, we can see that it would have required that we had more than 8 characters, 1 uppercase character. We see that it needs at least 1 digit and at least 1 symbol. These sorts of requirements are actually pretty common. So again, in this situation, you might just have some common passwords that you use. So, you might just do the low effort thing and just throw an exclamation mark at the end. So, and we might be thinking to ourselves, we were sure that that was the password. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this as our password list. Binance wallet demo password list.txt. Now, but what we're going to look at in this case is the chance that you might have actually just done a common mistake and hit a key that is near one of the other keys on the keyboard. So what we're going to use in this instance is a typo map. And basically, a few of these are bundled with BTCRecover. And essentially, if we just look at this US with shifts map, what we can see, it will test that you might have accidentally hit one of the keys around. So for the letter E, it will also check whether you might have accidentally typed D, 4, 3, W, or S instead. All of the letters around the E. So basically what we're going to say is typos map, and to get to this folder here, we're just going to say typos US with map.txt. And look, that's all we're going to worry about this time. So let's just see if we might have just fat fingered it and made one mistake. So we'll hit enter, and there we go. So it's actually found the password quickly on this one again, and we can see that actually there was the mistake right there. So instead of hitting the R in the password, we actually had hit T. And if we take that password now and use it in the Binance wallet, it works. Now, this last one I'm going to show you is how to do this for the Ronin wallet in the Firefox browser. And this is a bit different from Chrome in that you can't easily just find the extension files and point it at that. You actually have to do the same process that I showed you with the Binance Chain wallet, but the way you get there is a little bit different in Firefox. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to open the wallet like this, and then we're going to right click on it to say view page source. And so now that we have this here, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this view source bit, and then we're just going to hit enter, and that gives us this Ronin wallet here. And look, it looks a bit stuffed, but that doesn't matter. Now that we have the extension here, we can just right click on it and we can say inspect, and we can go into the console, and basically we can just paste that command in there, which is the same one that we used in Chrome, and hit enter. And we essentially get a bunch of information. If we click on the little arrow here, we can see it all. In this one, it's actually called encrypted vault, not just vault, but the data itself is still in the same format. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to click find this encrypted vault. We're going to right click on it, and we are going to say copy object, and say, and then we're going to go over here into our BTCRecover folder. We'll just make a new text file, Ronin wallet demo.txt, and we will just paste that data in there just exactly as is, and we'll just say save. So in this case, we can also just now say Python btcrecover.py wallet Ronin demo.txt. Now, for this one, instead of a password list, which is good if you're really sure you knew what the password list is, in this one we're going to use a token list. And a token list is a good thing to use if there might be blocks that you often use in passwords, but you're not entirely sure which one you might have used in this instance. All right, so we'll just say new, we'll make another text document, we'll just call this Ronin. We'll just call this Ronin wallet demo token list.txt. And call it anything. Now, in this case, let's just say that some of the blocks that we might have commonly used in passwords were things like, let's say crypto guide, but maybe we're not always consistent on how we capitalize things or do substitutions. So let's just say maybe it was crypto or crypt O, and we'll do the same here, guide. And maybe we had other things that we often used in passwords. In recoveries I do, people often will use some words. They'll stick in some numbers. So we'll just put in some numbers, maybe for the last couple of years, maybe the year you made the wallet. So let's just say 2020, 2019, 2021. And there might have also been some other symbols that you might have used in there. So maybe you would use an exclamation mark, maybe you would use an @ somewhere in there, or maybe a hash. All right, let's give that a go. Okay, and that didn't find anything. Okay, so none of that worked. So what we might do is we might just start throwing in some wildcards into our search. But before we do that, it's probably also a good idea to throw in some extra parameters that will narrow down the number of possible passwords that our token list produces. So let's say, for example, we knew that we always used these two words together without anything else in between them. We can stick relative anchors on both, and that will dramatically narrow down the number of possible options. And we'll also put required anchors on there just to say that, no matter what we do, we know that it would have had, these words in it or some combination thereof. And in terms of the symbols we'll use, we'll just stick in some other ones as well. All the symbols that you think you might commonly use in a password. So the other thing that can be worth trying in that instance, if our token list didn't work, is let's just try and insert some characters. So one of the types of typos that we can use is insert. And we can actually also use this with all of the expanding wildcards in BTCRecover. So a fairly universal kind of thing. So we could just use this one here, which basically is any single ASCII letter, digit, or symbol. And look, in terms of the insert, we'll just insert one random symbol or character as well, just in case we shove something else in there that maybe we'd forgotten about. And look, for this one, we'll also enable OpenCL, because there's probably going to be a few more things to test, and this will make it about 3 or 4 times faster, so let's go. All right, so there we go. So that took about 4 minutes, and if we have a look at our token list, we can see that it used that first bit there, this one here, the year 2021, and it actually used that symbol there and the last symbol. But the thing is, because we had them on a single row, it would never have actually tried these two together. And it's only because we had the insert typo that it was able to match this password. So again, using the insert sort of typo is often a very powerful thing to use as well. So if we take this password and copy that, and go back into Firefox, we can see that we can now log in. So happy days. Now, the last thing I'll show you is just how to use some of the extract scripts. Now, the first extract script here, which is extract Metamask priv key, is pretty much like the other ones that I've demoed in my video that looks at how to do this using like vast.ai, in that it will essentially take that vault data or the wallet data like we've seen in previous examples, and it will just give you a little snippet. So if we just run this command here, which just runs on one of the vaults that's bundled with BTCRecover, what it will do is it will actually just give us a short little string, which is essentially only what is needed to know whether the correct wallet has been found, that we can then safely use on rented sort of cloud servers. So that's important. The other one for these MetaMask wallets is a bit more interesting, and that's this one to extract MetaMask vaults. The thing with this MetaMask-based extensions is that they do not only store the current wallet that is in there, they also still retain all of the previous data from the previous wallets that have been used with that extension. And I'll just demonstrate what this is for. So basically, we've just got a fresh install of Ronin wallet here, and we'll just add one seed, which is the one I've been using for everything, and we'll just use the first password, which is password1, and we'll just say import wallet, and your wallet has been created. So if we just run this extract vaults script, and we just point it directly to the extension folder in our browser, we'll just put that in quotes as well. I won't like the fact that it has a space, and we hit enter, we can see that there is one vault in there. Now, this is the same data that you would have seen that we were getting out of the browser. Now, if I just copy that, what I can do is I can just use the Metamask Vault Decryptor. The Metamask Vault Decryptor and the documentation that goes with it is very useful, and there's a link to that in the description. It's also worth saying you can use BTCRecover to dump the contents of these vaults as well. The process is the same as for other wallet types. It's covered in the documentation, and I demo it for a blockchain.com wallet here. And I can paste the data there, and I can say password1, which is the one I just made, and say decrypt, and there it is. So that is our wallet. Now, where it gets really interesting is if I go, say I can't get into my wallet, and I just say I want to import a secret recovery phrase, and it sort of prompts you here saying this will remove all data from your current wallet, including a secret recovery phrase and so on. So if I click reset wallet, and let's just say I generate a new 12-word seed and stick it in, and we'll call it a new password. We'll call it password2. I'll let you be able to see it. There we go. And I say import wallet. Now I have this new wallet in Ronin. So if I use my old password, password1, it doesn't work. But if I say password2, there it is. But where things get really interesting is if I run this extract script, you will see that we now have two sets of vault data in there. We have this likely old vault data, which is this one here, which is actually identical to what we had before I had reset the wallet. But we also now have this new vault data, and we can actually then just copy that. We can just open another tab. We can just open another instance of the Vault Decryptor. We can stick the new data in there, say password2, and say decrypt, and there it is. Even after I have reset the wallet and the data has been removed, it is still there. And this is really handy if you're in a situation where maybe you've tried to import a second seed into sort of a MetaMask-based wallet and overwritten your original wallet, only to discover you don't have a backup for that one. Unless you've completely uninstalled the extension, your wallet data is probably still there. Now, to be clear, if you have removed the wallet entirely from Chrome, you'll notice that folder disappears. If you have uninstalled the extension and that folder is gone, your only option is an actual data recovery service to get those files back, okay? Simply trying to uninstall and reinstall the extension and go looking through the vault data will not work. That covers pretty much everything that BTCRecover can do for MetaMask wallet type recoveries, all the different types of ways you might need to access the vaults, some different things you might want to consider in terms of your token lists and password lists. And again, the process for BTCRecover in terms of token lists and password lists is the same as what you find in my other videos. So it doesn't matter whether it's a blockchain.com wallet, Bitcoin Core, BIP39 passphrase, or MetaMask, you know, the process for token lists and password lists and stuff is the same across the board. So give that a go yourself. And if you run into any trouble, you know, definitely just leave a comment on the video. I do my best to reply to every single one. If you're like totally stuck, I also do you know, private sessions and even trusted recoveries for those folk who need it. And there's information on how to get that on my website. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Hit like if you think that other people would find this video useful, and hit subscribe if you'd like to be kept in the loop about future content I make that helps people stay safe in the crypto space and to recover if they get into trouble. If you have any questions about this video or a topic that you'd like me to cover, just leave a reply.